Welcome to Tashkent in Uzbekistan. Tashkent might not be as famous as Samarkand or Bukhara, but it's the capital of Uzbekistan and the largest city in Central Asia, where most journeys begin. At first glance, it feels modern with wide boulevards and Soviet-style architecture, a look that comes from being almost completely rebuilt after a devastating earthquake in 1966. But once you start exploring, you will find colorful bazaars, historic mosques, and lively squares that reveal its unique character. Let's not forget that Tashkent is one of the greenest cities in the region, with endless parks and tree-lined avenues.
A lot of people, when they come to Uzbekistan, they skip Tashkent and they just fly in and fly out from Tashkent. And I understand why, because they want to use their time to see all the historic towns like Bukhara, Samarkand, Khiva, and also they want to go and see the main stops on the Silk Route. But if you have time, you can come to Tashkent, and before flying out, you can stay a day and explore the city a bit.
We spent the day in Tashkent when we first arrived in Uzbekistan before flying to Khiva.
Welcome to Bukhara, Khiva, Samarkand.
And then, after visiting the historical parts of the country and spending time in a yurt camp,
This is our yurt.
we came back and decided to spend more days here before flying back home. In this video, I will take you through the best things to do in Tashkent, share some travel tips, and show you why you should add Tashkent in your itinerary.
Wow, this is beautiful. There are so many fountains around the city. The Independence Square is the main square in Tashkent. This square is not the small one, it's a huge park. And you will see a lot of security and police around here because lots of state buildings are located here.
Independence Square is the largest square in Uzbekistan, and it's not just the political heart of Tashkent, it's also a popular place for locals to walk and relax. This square is decorated with beautiful fountains, gardens, and wide open spaces, which make it feel calm and welcoming despite the surrounding official buildings. Just next to the square, you will find a monument to the Grieving Mother, also known as the Crying Mother Monument. It was built in the memory of the soldiers who died during World War II, and in front of the statues burn an eternal flame, a symbol of remembrance that never goes out. The monument represents the sorrow of countless mothers who lost their sons in the war, and it's a place where people still come to pay their respects today.
Coming to Tashkent or in general in Uzbekistan, you need to download Yandex app, which works as Uber. And whenever you want to get a taxi, you can just book a taxi on the app and you can pay it in cash. So it saves you a lot of hassle of negotiating. And there are not a lot of taxis around actually. A lot of them are Yandex, so it's easier.
Actually, we had some issues with Yandex when we came here because we installed it while we were here and we couldn't activate it with our UK number. We were not receiving the text for verification. So I think it only works if you have like the Uzbek number here. And what we ended up doing, because we had eSIM cards, but our eSIM cards were data only, so we didn't have a phone number, so we couldn't activate the app. You actually had to go into a shop and get a local SIM card in order to activate it. So maybe it's a good idea to install Yandex while you're away and activate it before coming here, so you don't have to do that.
Amir Timur Square is one of the main squares in Tashkent, and it is named after Amir Timur, who was the founder of Timurid dynasty in Uzbekistan and Central Asia, and some part of also Iran and Afghanistan.
And honestly, after visiting his mausoleum in Samarkand, we now understand just how much Uzbeks admire him. Timur built a vast empire stretching across Central Asia, Persia, and beyond. At the time, Samarkand was his capital, and he dreamt of making it the most beautiful city in the world. In many ways, he succeeded. The monuments he left behind are still some of the finest examples of Islamic architecture. Here in Tashkent, his statue is surrounded by grand buildings, gardens, and wide boulevards.
And also around the square is like a park. A lot of people, locals, come here just to relax, read books, and some tourists can come here too because it's nice, and when it's hot you want to be on the shade, so it's good to come here if you're in Tashkent. One thing I noticed in Tashkent and in general in Uzbekistan, that a lot of workers, they keep cleaning the roads and parks and everywhere actually, and they use the traditional and old style brooms, and a lot of them are women actually.
From Amir Timur Square is just a short walk to Sayilgoh Street, also known as Broadway. This pedestrian street is one of the most popular places in Tashkent for both locals and visitors. Lined with trees, fountains, cafes, and little stores. It is also a great spot to try some of Tashkent's street food.
By chance we discovered this street and it's full of street food, and I want to try. This one is potato, this one has meat, and this one is chicken sausage, and this one is mixed meat. So which one I should try? I want to try one. Which one is the best? This one is good? I will go for the chicken sausage. Yeah, one. Thank you. How much is that? 5,000 some. Which is not even £1. Rahmat Kala. Actually, this one is called prashki, and we have something similar in Iran too, and it's like a donut, and you fry the dough and you put inside something. Like in Iran can be sweet, like a donut, like you put custard and fry it. So let's try it. It tastes like prashki. It's good. It reminds me of my childhood.
It has a relaxed atmosphere during the day and really comes alive in the evening. Apparently here they love Pepsi. You can see the Pepsi sign almost everywhere. For the first meal in Uzbekistan, actually in Tashkent, we went for the national dish. It's manti. One is just boiled one and the other one is fried one. We tried something similar in Georgia and Armenia, but let's try this one. In Georgia and Armenia, they offer it with pork, beef, and I think chicken, but here it was just beef. In Georgia, they told us we should eat it. I should suck the juice. I wanna just try to see, are they different? It's so tasty. I think the difference is that there we had to suck the juice out, but here we can just eat it, and it's really tasty. Manti was actually our very first meal in Uzbekistan, and since then we've tried it in different parts of the country. But honestly, the best one was at the York camp, where we even had a chance to make it, and the one we had here in Tashkent. Another interesting place to see in Tashkent is the Seoul Mun District.
One of the most lively areas in Tashkent is here, Seoul Mun.
It's a modern area inspired by Korean architecture, with colorful cafes and a playful vibe that feels very different from the historical parts of the city. There are plenty of restaurants here, but what we notice is that many of them are more like fast food places. That's why we came here mainly for a visit rather than to eat. If you're looking for proper Uzbek meals or international cuisine, you will find much better options in other parts of the city.
During the day, this place is not very busy, but when the sun goes down, this place comes to life. The other night we came here and it was very busy, and we didn't have any camera with us, we just wanted to rest. But today is going to rain, that's why it's not very busy right now.
While Tashkent has plenty of modern shopping malls, the traditional bazaar is still very much alive. The most famous one is Chorsu Bazaar, a massive dome market that's been at the center of trade for centuries.
This is the main bazaar in Tashkent, and actually it's not a tourist attraction. It's where locals come and buy fresh produce, clothes, anything, meat, anything they need, they come to this bazaar.
The word Chorsu actually means crossroads, and that's exactly what this place has always been, a meeting point for traders and locals.
This is Uzbekistan tea? It's so fruity and flowery. It smells so good. He's giving me another one to just smell.
This is number one.
Ooh. I can see there is a strawberry inside.
Spice mix.
Mixed with for shishlik.
For shishlik, soup.
This is for soup?
This is for soup. Chili.
Yeah,
شما فارسی میدونید؟
Yeah, بله.
ما فارس هستم میدونم فارسی را.
Oh. When he was explaining me, then he started talking in Farsi, and as you know, I'm Iranian, so I can speak Farsi. But he's Uzbek, he's from Uzbekistan, but from Samarkand. In Tashkent, not many people speak Farsi, but when you go to Bukhara and Samarkand, most of the people there speak Farsi. Oh my god, this is in Persian, we call it gorgeous sabz, and it actually sour tomato, and they are always this size and green, and they're very sour. You should eat them with salt, and they're very tasty, and you can find them only in spring. Thank you. I just got white mulberry. Usually I don't find this kind of fruits in the UK, so it's nice to see it and be in the right season here and have them. If you never try them, they are very sweet and very delicious. It tastes like my childhood.
The bazaar's huge blue dome was built in the 1980s. It has become one of the Tashkent's landmarks.
Usually when you travel, most of the souvenirs look like each other, but here are so different, and all of the statues have like traditional clothes of Uzbekistan, and chest is a big thing in this country, and you can see it in a souvenir.
Actually, one thing I noticed here, I don't know if it's just me, but there's a lot of cars that are white and the rest are mainly black or gray. There's no like colorful cars at all, so we don't know if there's a reason behind it. But it just looks weird looking at the road. It's just mainly white cars.
Most cars, not just in Tashkent, but across the whole country, are white. Unlike neighboring country Turkmenistan, where there are actual restrictions on car colors, Uzbekistan doesn't have such laws. Here, the preference for white is purely practical. Lighter cars stay cooler during the summer months, when temperatures can rise over 35 degrees. White paint is also cheaper, and it is considered more convenient for resale. So it's no wonder the streets are almost entirely filled with white cars. One of the most beautiful places to visit in Tashkent is the Hazrat Imam Complex, also known as Hazrat Imam Square. This is the religious heart of the city, home to several historic mosques and madrasas. The highlight here is the Mui Mubarak Library, which houses one of the oldest Qurans in the world, dating back to the 7th century. Walking around the complex feels peaceful and calm, especially compared to the busy streets and bazaar.
Actually, this is the tree of white mulberry. Usually you can just come here and grab them if they're ready to be eaten.
Tashkent might not have the fame of Samarkand or Bukhara, but it has its own charm. It was the perfect way to both start and finish our Uzbekistan journey. If you want to see more from this amazing country, check out my other videos from Samarkand, Bukhara, Khiva, and our time in a yurt camp. But for now, same as always, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.